Today on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, we're going to be walking around the Star of the Seas, the newest, biggest cruise ship from Royal Caribbean. I'm going to show you just about everything I could find that costs extra, and some of it costs a lot extra. Show you some alternatives that don't cost anything at all, and all together, we're just going to chat about this brand new ship. But first, hey travelers, do you like to be connected to the internet? Of course you do! You are right now. This video is being sponsored by Airalo, a service I have actually been using for a couple years now. Airalo is a free app you can download, and they offer eSim support for over 200 countries around the world, including Germany for that Christmas market river cruise, the entire Mediterranean, USA, Mexico, Bahamas, and I'm gonna say almost basically anywhere in the world you're gonna be traveling. You download the app for free, pick out the country you're gonna be visiting, install the eSIM before you leave, very important, and then as soon as you get off the plane, you turn off your normal carrier and turn on the eSIM from Airalo. As far as my experience goes, it's always been super easy, and I just love knowing when I get there, as soon as I get off the plane, or as soon as the ship gets into port, I'm going to be able to open up Google Maps, I'm going to be able to order an Uber, or I'm going to be able to check into my flight on the last day of the cruise. Go to try.airalo.com/veryunofficialtravelguide, no S, and enter code unofficial3 for $3 off your first eSIM from Airalo. And now, on to the video. Thanks for sticking around through that. So let's go up to the top deck and let's start talking about these prices. This is the trademark sort of cantilevered, free floating infinity pool here in the Hideaway. It gets super crowded during the day, people soup. And on both sides here, over on that side, as well as at the back of this side, these are then the Sea View day beds. You can see, you can't just show up and take one. There is a sign on it that says this day bed is reserved. And before I tell you what it costs, I want to tell you what's included, and then I want you to guess the price, okay? This is what the beds look like. You can have up to 4 people for the price. I would say it's about the size of a king bed, and the back can go up and down to make it flat as well. It comes with 4 pool towels, 4 bottles of water. This side table is listed as a feature.
Wow, a side table, that's fancy.
And I can't show it here, but it also comes with a bottle of champagne and 4 souvenir glasses. Today the beds have a view of the ocean and a perfect day at Coco Cay. Looking pretty nice out there. Think of a number now, write it down in the comments. What do you think these beds cost? And let me just remind you, there's no like dedicated drink service, there's no charging capability. You're basically getting the bed, towels, and a bottle of champagne. You ready? On our cruise, on a port day, they were costing $179, and on a sea day, $319. What do you think? Worth it? I'm gonna say no, but to each their own. And the price just keeps going up. Let's take a look at the Hideaway in-pool day beds. This is something really exclusive because as you can see, there are only 3 of these on the whole ship. It's these 3 beds right behind me. They take up a lot of space in this pool that already, like I said, gets super crowded. They include all the same perks that a Sea View day bed gets. So you get the bed, 4 towels, a bottle of champagne, souvenir glasses, a side table. And one thing that makes them a little bit different is they're closer to the bar, and they come with what they call dedicated beverage service. All right, so come up with a number in your head, think about it, discuss it amongst yourselves. What do you think these cost? Well, on this sailing, I can't tell you what they cost on the port day because they're sold out and they didn't list a price, but on a sea day, these Hideaway in-pool day beds cost 399 euros. Like I said, I think they're really exclusive. It's a really cool thing. There's only 3 of them on the entire ship. But I just personally can think of a lot of other things I would rather do with $399 than reserve one of these beds for a day. But once again, you do you. So now if you're thinking, Morgan, that's nothing. I want to spend even more money for something. Well, I've got the perfect solution for you. So we're over at the main pool area. It's called Chill Island, but I think most people would just call it the main pool area. It's in the central part of the ship on the top deck. Even though it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, it's already super hot, humidity of like 400%, and being directly in the sun with your clothes on is just not cute at the moment. These are the Casitas. They have funny names like Caribbean Crush, Bahama Mama, Tiki Tango. And look at the theming they offer here. Don't those birds look so real? Look at how they move. And as the sign says, this casita could be yours. The perks and amenities that come with these are a little bit different than the day beds. Let me just go through it here. instead of a bottle of champagne, it said on the website you get welcome drinks. What those are, I don't know if it's always the same or if you get to choose. Maybe because this is not an adult-only area, they offer also non-alcoholic drinks. I think that would make sense. You can have up to 8 people in these casitas, and then they come with 8 towels, 8 water bottles. There's 2 different coolers for cooling those water bottles, and I guess any other drinks you might purchase. This is something I think that's kind of interesting and much different compared to the day beds is you get the bed that has shading on top of it, but then you also get a little seated area next to it, and there are also charging outlets. Oh, those fake birds are fighting. Wow, they have them programmed so well. It also says you have a call button for service, so you can press a button to get a server to come and take your drink order. And I think there's like probably only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, on this side of the ship, I can see 6 of them, and I don't know if on the other side as well. But these 2 casitas are the ones closest to a pool. It's number 1 and 2, Casita Breeze and Pina Colada. You can see they're literally right across from this little swim-up bar called Swim and Tonic and Mini Pool Area. So if you are going to get a casita, try to get number 1 and number 2 because I think it's the most convenient location. The 2 that are then furthest away from the pool are number 5 and 6, which are Caribbean Crush and Bahama Mama. Come up with a number again for me. What do you think this costs? You know what? Let's talk about what you think it should cost. What would be a fair price for something like this? I can understand that they want to charge extra because if there wasn't some kind of like paywall, people would be fighting for these spaces every morning and they would be reserved immediately with towels and books at like 6 a.m. You know that would happen. And so I can understand that it is an extra charge thing just to keep it kind of like regulated, but what do you think a fair price would be? And now let's talk about what the actual price is on this sailing. On a port day, to stay in one of these casitas with up to 8 of your friends, it would be $389, and on a sea day, $879. So if you're splitting this with up to 8 friends, that would be like $179 per person for a drink and this seating area. And I don't know, you know, could be a fun splurge. But at the same time, there are so many other options, and I'm going to show you a free option if you want to have sort of a bed-like situation and be on the top deck. Ooh, I am sweaty! But I told you I was going to show you some free alternatives, and you can see one right behind me here. This bed-like situation is just sitting out for anybody to take. Of course, it's not looking directly out at the ocean, but it will allow you to lay down and lounge. It also doesn't have a side table, but you can put your stuff maybe on the chair next to it and have just a nice little area for, you know, 4 or 5 people right here. Just got to kind of get up early and get ready to take it over. There are a few of those around the Chill Island area in different locations and with different color schemes. And back here in the Thrill Island area, there are also these sort of pod-looking beds that I think are really nice because with this sort of cover, they offer a tiny little bit of shade and protection from the wind. And yeah, it's not a first row ocean view, but it's still an okay view. And the one over here has a really nice view of the water park. And in case you haven't noticed yet, this water park is huge and includes this water slide, which we're not going to talk about. Oh, over here next to the water park, there actually is one of these pods with an ocean view. I mean, come on, why would you pay like $399 for one of the other ones when the price of this one is just getting up kind of early? Now we're going to go down into the ship and we're going to talk about some of the specialty restaurants and a couple other things as well. And before I do that, let me just remind you, if you've watched until now, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe and make sure you are still subscribed if you think you are subscribed. Oh, the birds. Starting with the least expensive of the specialty restaurants, it's Pier 7 here on the Surfside area at the back of the ship. Because it's right next to the kids' splash pad, I think they're trying to appeal to families with this restaurant. If you ordered in advance, you could get a 3-course meal for $14.99, which is a pretty good deal compared to the $25 price tag at the door. But honestly, I don't know who's going to pay to eat here because right across the street from that is Surfside Bites with everything that kids are going to want to eat. And right next to that is the Surfside Eatery, which also has pizza, sliders, hot dogs, and other healthy snacks. And both of these are included in the price of the cruise. Now let's go up a deck to Central Park. Next up, as far as price goes, is right back there. It's Izumi in Central Park, and there's actually two different restaurant options in there. There's the sushi restaurant and then the hibachi teppanyaki show cooking. If you're just going for sushi, it's $23.99 for adults. And I'm going a little bit out of order now, but since we're here, the teppanyaki is $51.99 for adults, which is the second most expensive dining option on board. If you enjoy a big chunk of
meat,
this is the place for you. Chops Grill is $41.99 for adults. Kids between 6 and 12 are also $12.99. In fact, I think at all the restaurants, kids between 6 and 12 are $12.99. Don't quote me on that, but it looks like that's generally the price. And I have to be completely honest with you here, in the blazing sun, as I'm walking back here through Central Park, there's a restaurant here that I didn't see when I was looking at the restaurants on the website. It's called Lou's, and I don't know if this is where the supper club is, but I'm gonna find out. I walk back here to the elevators, and they have these maps and lists of venues on the ship, and I can't find anything that just says supper club, so I guess that it happens in Lou's, but what I wrote down was Lincoln Park Supper Club, and I don't see that anywhere on here. Wait a second, I just looked in the app and I found it, and now I see it on the map here too. And it's actually not that far away. So we're here, it's all the way through Central Park, and then on the other side. And Lou's is apparently just a cocktail bar with music. This area of the ship is so pretty. It's so nice to walk through here. The trees are also only going to get bigger, making it seem more green and lush, and especially at night, it's just very magical in here. Another thing I just realized they don't have here, compared to the Oasis class of ship, which is very similar to this design, is I don't remember the official name of it, but like that flying saucer bar that starts down in the Royal Promenade and then goes up into the park. I've always kind of thought that was a waste of space, and I just realized that they took that out of the design here, which I think is good. And I'm also going to be making a video where we look more around the ship and talking about the things that I think are improvements over the Oasis class of ship, and things that I think they didn't get right, and that will be coming soon. So make sure you subscribe and check back for that one. And now I think we are about to find the supper club. This must be it right here, and actually I can hear them rehearsing inside. I don't know if you can hear it. Dinner here includes a live show with jazz music, and I think there's just a little bit of a story. There is a strict dress code. It's adults only, which is pretty nice, and the price includes not only the entertainment, but a several-course meal with matching cocktails paired to it, and the price is a whopping $159. So if you want a really special night, then for $159, at least on this cruise, you could have that here, behind these foggy doors. Up here on deck 14 is the Vitality Spa. I've talked many times in many videos about why I think the prices for treatments in the spa are much too expensive. Most of the cruise ship spas are all run by the same company, regardless of what line you're cruising on, and one of the main parts of the business model of these spas is that the people working here are basically required to try to constantly make you spend more money, in addition to the already super jacked up prices compared to really great options on land. But there are two prices that I looked for that I want to share with you here. The Star of the Seas does have a thermal suite. That is an area with like saunas and steam rooms and warm beds to lay on. Of course, it's currently like 5,000 degrees outside, so I can't imagine that anybody would want to be going there right now. And maybe that's the reason why the price for this cruise was so inexpensive compared to others I've seen. 4-day pass for the thermal spa on this cruise was only $59. And like I said, if you've seen prices on other cruises for thermal suite areas, you know that's a pretty good price. The least expensive massage treatment I could see on the website when I was looking a couple days ago was a 50-minute massage for $125 plus the gratuity, plus all the upselling they're going to try to do to you. And for $125 at your local spa, you could probably get 2 50-minute massages, and it'll be much more personal and a way to brighten up your day when you're you know, already back at home. My recommendation. Thanks for playing the little game with me about thinking about what the price would be, and write it in the comments. Were you close? Most of these things on the top deck are things that I just would not feel good spending that part of the small budget I have to travel on something like that. And people, this is not me criticizing you if you like to do that. Everybody has a different budget, and everybody has different priorities, and everybody has different things that they feel like they need to feel like they had a special vacation. And for me, that's just not one of them. And the specialty restaurants here on board the ship, although I'm sure they're all fantastic, I'm really happy with the options that are included in the price of the cruise. The Aquadome Market, for example, up on deck 15, has also options where you can pick your base, pick your protein, pick your toppings, empanadas, arepas, Cuban sandwich. It's not directly next to the kids' splash area, which I think is bonus points. But yeah, it's included in the price of the cruise, and I think it's a great free option. And I think the only reason I would or I could convince myself to spend the money for one of these specialty restaurants was if there was a specific cuisine or dish that I really wanted to try, or if I was with somebody special and wanted some kind of special, somewhat more exclusive atmosphere. The specialty restaurants on board cruise ships are almost always good for that. This video is just one of many videos I'm going to be making on this trip, including a cabin tour talking about how crowded or not crowded Coco Cay gets when the Star of the Seas and the Utopia of the Seas are there on the same day, comparing Star class to Oasis class. So walking around the ship and saying, yeah, on Oasis class you would have this and this here, but on the Star class this is what's here, and more things like that. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you check out my library, press subscribe, and give me a thumbs up before you go. And I look forward to seeing you back here soon. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. Bye-bye.